All right, I just finished eating chicken and rice. Y'all already know. So I'm gonna continue to talk about what I was saying. So this is the same female. Man, this is a dangerous individual, okay? This is what I'm talking about when I say, and I kept trying to tell Caesar this. Caesar, I don't care about none of you fucking idiots, okay? I could care less. I don't care about the problems in here. I don't care about any of it. And it's because I want out. I want out of this shit. I don't want to have to report to this place. I don't want to have to deal with the petty shit that you guys think are problems in real life and in the grand scope of things. None of this shit matters. You know, a lot of you taking this stuff too serious. A lot of y'all, like Caesar, well, shit, you know what? Let me stop. So that's my point. My point is that I don't care about any of the, as frustrated as I may be getting with this job, I'm not concerned about trying to change anything, because these people are just, this is what I've been talking about. Maybe 20 years ago, these people would have been a little bit more intelligent. But right now, in this current day and time, a lot of adults, a lot of young adults, a lot of, people in the workplace are mentally deficient by design. These people don't wake up and want to be stupid. They've been programmed to be stupid. So Madison is one of, she's of one of the highest calibers, where I've even given y'all a physical description of what she looks like. She is not attractive at all. When you spend a lot of your shift popping and twerking and doing all of this disgusting crap, your personality is ugly. And so yesterday, Cordelia, I told y'all Cordelia is an African lady. I'ma just, for time's sake, call her African. Cordelia is an African lady that she's been there for probably the longest. And Madison and Alyssa's a Caucasian girl who I told y'all she got the hustle and flow accent. See, because y'all and I see, because that's how she likes to talk. And I say likes to talk because she don't talk like that at home. She's somewhat of a runaway. So I told George when I got, her kind of more on her background, I was like, oh, okay, so you defiant. You like to be defiant. You like to think everybody's against you and ain't nobody, then it's everybody else's fault. Oh, okay, all right. Typical kid. I get it. But I tell George, like, hey man, everything was okay, had a good day and stuff like that. But he was like, hey man, Madison told me that you got mad and you just stormed off and you left. Is that true? I was like, dude, I went to the restroom to like get my shit together, bro. I was getting upset. And he was like, oh, okay, because she said that you just left. Yo, man, I'm, for video time's sake, let me just give y'all a rundown. Yo, man, this chick comes up to George and tells George, like a little ass schoolgirl, Janet is in the office. And Janet bought snacks for everybody and shit like that. She's sucking on a Capri Sun like a little 10-year-old kid. Janet said that to tell Cordelia to go clean up all that shit in the back. And then George was like, we busy right now. Janet said. And I mean, she just kept, I was like, is this shit real right now? Is she really acting like this? This is ridiculous. And so, this is the same female that has said that a 60-something-year-old woman in Cordelia needs to get her ass whooped. Yeah. I feel like she need to get her ass whooped. Like, cause bitch, you ain't about to. I'm sitting here like, dog. Like, every time she starts that shit, and if she's talking to me, I just start shaking my head like, bro, I don't want to hear this shit. Cordelia is my elder. I'm gonna respect my elder. I don't give a fuck how you feel. And I be trying to tell her like, dog, Cordelia she is a senior in this hoe, bro. You need to respect her. But you see, she's a ghetto piece of trash. She's a ghetto piece of trash that, you know, I don't even want to waste my breath saying, because you're not a real person. You know, you're not somebody that could be coached into like seeing the error of your ways. No. That shit seems like she gonna blame everybody for everything until the end of. And that's why I told him yesterday, and I told George. George was like, bro, I don't know what to fucking do with her. George was like, I'm getting tired of this shit, bro. I was like, hey, that's why I can't be in no manager position like that, because I would have told her, like, man, if you don't take your retarded ass on somewhere, you disgust me, dude. And so George, he informs me that he likes Alyssa, the little white girl. And I don't have a problem with that at all. Because Madison, you know, he'll shake his head whenever you mention her, like, bro, she's exactly what I'm talking about when it's like black girls are hard to like. Especially when they doing shit like this. So I usually say stuff like, people like Madison, won't nothing happen to her. Won't nothing happen to her. Do you know why? Do you know why nothing will happen to Madison? Because she's a fucking retard. So it's almost like the saying goes, God protects drunks, a fool, and a child. And in her case, she ain't an alcoholic. She just a fool. So that, you know, I used to tell Terrell that, you know, before you get on your high horse and think that you got my type of luck. No, dude, God protects you because you a dumbass. You're somebody that'll like literally walk off a cliff and just fall to your death. So that's why I always say, like, nothing will happen to these people. They can continue to be disrespectful and all that. I'm telling you, and it's almost like that's who you have to be if you want to keep a job in these jobs. You'll be somebody like Madison complaining for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years at the same job, and everybody looking at you like, why don't you just quit? Why don't you go somewhere else? If this shit bothers you like this, why don't you just quit? Why are you trying to make everybody else miserable? Get the fuck out of here. That's where I told y'all, that's the difference between me and a lot of people that complain about stuff. Bro, if I'm complaining, this shit gonna come to a stop. I'm not finna be doing something every day knowing I don't like to do it. We all gotta do that, Charles. No, the fuck we don't. No, the fuck we don't. No, the fuck lied to you and said you gotta get fucked in your ass in this life to get what you want. That's a goddamn lie. That's a goddamn lie. So that's how I see it. It's like, bro, I'm not about to sit up here and be one of these people. I ain't trying to deal with this today. I'm not finna deal with it no day. So that's why I was telling everybody, I was like, bro, Madison gonna lose her fucking job because what she's gonna end up doing, she gonna self-destruct. She gonna spaz out for no reason. And then, oh girl, like basically, she's gonna mess her own job up. See, if this was me and I had to go to work knowing I did some shit like this, I would be nervous because of who I am. Meaning that I could go to work and they could say, Charles, come in here. Okay, what happened last night? And or you might try to discipline me and I won't even say shit to you. Like I told y'all, I don't talk. A lot of times when they, you know, people giving disciplinary action and shit, I don't say nothing. Because I know what I want to say. It's not meant for like to say in a work setting. So I remember I told y'all whenever I worked at Taco Bell and Sugarland or KFC, and I told y'all that them two that they wanted to have a meeting with me and Terrell and shit like that. And in the meeting, they told Terrell, like, Terrell, why you can't just be like Charles and just say okay? Everything they told me, everything they suggested and said, because I know I'm in the right and you're complaining about something that's stupid, I just said, okay, all right, I'll work on it. Okay, no problem. All right. Whereas that Terrell, he rebutted. Oh, why, man? And Nancy was like, why you just can't be like Charles and say okay? Why you gotta just keep talking back, bro? Can y'all believe, though, he was favored more than me? Because why? He's a dummy. I told y'all how that job went. When we went through that freeze 2 years ago, and they called, and I was like, hey, man, Terrell, called him and see if we got to go back to work. And he was like, yeah, man, but they said that you fired. Never had a meeting with me or anything. They just fired me over the phone. They told Terrell, yeah, Terrell, you can come back, but not Charles. You see? So again, it's one of those things that I can see from a distance, like, bro, she gonna fuck up her own job, because it's almost like they're gonna treat her like the retard she is. They're gonna say, hey, when you're here, you know, you can't kind of, you know, it's basically like you're gonna have to talk down to her because you know she's not intelligent, she's a little slow. So you got to talk down to her. And while she's sitting there, but Janet, no, she need to be fired because she need. And all Janet gonna be doing is saying, hey, shut that shit up. Cut that out. Stop yelling. Let me finish. And I promise you, all that girl gonna do is just keep flapping her gums. And Janet gonna be like, dude, I tried. Get your ass out of here. I tried. You just a fucking hardhead. And that's why I said, when things happen to me at work, they assume that I'm like that. They assume that I'm another black person or another person, period, coming through there with no self-accountability. Nothing is my fault. And that's why they, you know, she don't really know how to deal with me as far as like, can I talk to Charles casually? Or, you know, she don't know. Because she sees that this dude is an intelligent person. He just don't talk enough for me to hear it. Or when is the next time he's gonna fuck up, so I can then get more detail as to why he act the way he act before I fire him. You see what I'm saying? I come into work, she don't speak. I told y'all, I am going to record when I walk into work. You're gonna get a chance to see Caesar's fake ass, you know, when for y'all that work in customer service, when you have customers that come into your store and you have a certain saying that you might tell that particular person, here's some advice. Don't tell the next person the same thing, you fucking loof. Okay? If I tell you, hey, Charles, you the man with the plan, that doesn't mean the next person that come through the door is also the man with the plan. You then sound what? Fake. I can't imagine. Then again, I can. Somebody asking Caesar, or like when Caesar's by himself and he's like, I don't really give a fuck about these people. I don't really think you a man with a plan. I mean, I made a video saying I'm an actual man with a plan. Y'all remember that video? I'm a man with a plan. I have the plan to get out of here. You calling every dude that come through here the man with the plan and all that, bro. You so fucking gross. I really don't want to have to be here when Africa come back. I'm going to be here, but... Hi, Caesar. I miss you. Oh, my God. Ugh, gross. Shut up. Shut up. And then you had Caesar over here trying to life coach me, telling me, like, I need to be more... If I want a female, I need to be more affectionate. And then you see Caleb. Caleb, dog, that shit was so funny. Caleb is somebody that I think I told y'all, I think she's gay. I've asked Caleb for her number, and she didn't even reply to the text because I think she like girls. I think that she and Africa have something going on. Africa came into work one day and was like, sorry, I didn't text you back. My phone died. I'm like, you don't tell a friend that, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But when that nigga Caesar was like, yeah, Charles, man, you got to be more affectionate, bro. You got to do this. You got to do that. She goes, like, that shit was so funny because she wants to, she want to take a walk on this side with me and find out what it is that makes me me. She don't see what Africa, because again, most people, when they speak on your name, when you're not around, they trash it. So she's probably like, I don't see what Africa sees. I don't see it. I don't this. So I'm pretty sure she wants to have a conversation with me. And I'm willing to have it. Kayla, even though she's not, you know, super attractive or anything like that, she does, you know, spark interest in me to want to, like, get to know her on that level. So I told George kind of already know as far as, you know, him liking Alyssa. You know, he's just like, they don't respect me. Like, you know, he even said, like, Madison has influence over Alyssa. So Alyssa, even though Alyssa want to do right, Madison then drags her back to the other side and make her do stupid shit and make her be disrespectful. Madison needs to go, bro. Like, it's not, if I could do it like this, like, bro, you need to go back into life, okay? You need to go try to figure out how to live life, because you cannot operate in a work setting. You probably won't have no job. Like, you probably gonna be like the cousin that I had a year or two ago that tried to, you know, dog me out, even though what's her name, Madison, you said the same shit. You live in a tent, I live in a house, and you just went on this retarded rant thinking that was gonna hurt my feelings. You probably on her same, you and her on the same level. Y'all need to get a check from the government and just sit y'all ass at the house. Cause when y'all out here trying to go to work and stuff, y'all try to cause too many problems. Saying that a 60-something-year-old lady need her ass whooped, you out of line. Saying that this lady need to get fired, you out of line. You have no ground in here, Madison, to be talking and acting do. And as a black brother to another sister, man, you need to clean up your act. Because you are embarrassing. You make our people look stupid. But like I told him, I said, bro, don't worry about it. I said, you know, it's part of being a retard. She's gonna self-destruct. She's gonna think that every time Janet uses her, you know, when Janet not screaming and all of that, that's when you gonna hear her, no. And Janet gonna be like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit, bro. Clock out and go home. She won't even probably be written up. She won't even be written up. She'll probably just be told to clock out and go home. I told y'all, man, a person like that will stay there longer than me. It's disgusting, and that's why I said I have a plan to get out of there, because I don't even want to deal with that type of person, being that I'm about to be 32 years old and I feel like that type of shit is beneath me, bro. If I'm going to work let me be the one going inside of your place and see that you got somebody like that behind the counter. I don't want to be the one working with that person at behind the counter. I'm tired of, hey, it's 11:45. Everybody, let's order pizza. Who the fuck wants pizza at 12 o'clock midnight? Like, the pizza's not going to look the way you think it's going to. People don't want to be at work. I hate the last minute stragglers. I hate the ridiculous toppings and all this shit. I'm just like, dog, I'm just ready to be done with this shit. Instead of complaining about it, I'm ready to just put an end to it. So let me put all these videos together, you guys. Y'all will see me throughout the day, man, posting different things. I hope y'all like what I've been posting, especially the video about Michael Jordan. And just when you reach a certain level of spirituality, time does slow down. That's why they have these prompts in video games. When I was a junior in high school, I became so talented at the running back position in football, I didn't need to go to practice. And some people be like, oh, yeah, well, you really... Look, man. I had like Walter Payton type energy or Barry Sanders type energy. I didn't like drinking water during the game. I didn't like drinking water during practice. I had a high motor. A really high motor. Didn't like timeouts. None of that shit. So when I knew my opponent was tired, and I'm still, I told you I styled myself after Adrian Peterson. So I became so good at that position in football that I knew. I think I called on 2 different occasions. I think either in the same game, we were playing Palacios, but in the same game, I called game. We were losing real bad, and I told myself, man, just give me the ball, bro. Just give it to me up the gut. I'll make something happen. Bounce it out, do something. And I scored one for 70-something yards. There was another time we had played a school. We played one of these wild-ass church schools, man. And they were just light years better than us. And they beat us 70-something to like 7. I was the only one that scored the touchdown. But we were embarrassed. But I was the only one that scored. I scored like a 70-something yard touchdown or something like that. But it was, the point is that I started to see things a lot different. Time slowed down. But let me go get on the bus, man. I'll see y'all later.